Okay, I wasn't going to make this video at all. I have to be completely honest. There was a live stream clip that got put onto Twitter, basically, from Tyler McVicker, and he basically said a whole bunch of stuff about Valve giving TF2 to a third party to continue the development of it. Obviously, because it's Twitter, that thing went crazy. So many people were voicing their opinions, and I wanted to take a little bit of time to think about what I actually thought about that whole thing. I also saw Pyro Joe had made a video about it, and I thought his video was really good, and he had actually thought out what he was saying instead of letting the hype and the panic of that whole situation with that clip basically change what he was saying and cloud all of his judgment. So today, I want to discuss Valve giving away TF2, but more as like a general topic rather than a response to that stream, just because I think the idea is pretty cool. There's a lot of reasons for and against that I'm sure everyone can come up with, so I've tried to think of the most common ones that I've seen when this topic has come up, and why a lot of the negatives you might have are actually going to end up being really good things. That is, if anything like this ends up happening. We have no idea if it will, or if it will happen, when it will happen, or any of the details of any kind of deal that might happen ever, okay? We have no clue. I'm just talking about this because I think it was going to be fun. Okay, so the first pro is obviously going to be that there will be a dev team actively working on the game, and hopefully a sizable dev team as well, depending on who gets it. If you're giving TF2 to somebody else to work on, then obviously they're actually going to be working on the game to try and make updates for it. For us, that is a great thing. There'll hopefully be more updates in a year, bigger updates more often as well, and the life of TF2 will get thrown back in, and hopefully I won't have to get a real job. I'll be able to just make TF2 videos until my internet career is over, which I love that. There will actually be hype around the game again. People will hopefully come back and play it. New people who have never heard of it might come and try it out when there's a new update they like the sound of. And I just think the atmosphere around TF2 will be much better if there's an active development team working on it, because we know something will be coming at some point soon, instead of waiting 4 years between major updates. The next pro of Valve giving TF2 away is hopefully that because of it, there'll be better communication to the community. One of Valve's biggest issues, and one of the issues that most of the community has had with Valve, is that there is no communication ever. Nobody has any idea what Valve are working on, how long until the next update, or anything like that. And it's really, really annoying. I think a new dev team honestly would want to get on the socials straight away and try and put people's minds at ease and realize that Valve did communication all wrong. To me, social media is like really important, mainly because it's like based off what my job is, but I feel like a lot of companies have now started to understand how important social media is and how it could really help make or break what you're working on. So if a new dev team come in and do socials right, then I think that will really help their case with the community and trusting them. Like I said before, give me the Twitter account. I'd love that. I'd be great at it, and I'd help out a lot, I think. I'm assuming they've got their own social media guy, which is fine. Whatever. Cool. Whatever. Or if we just saw some more activity from the people who are making the game we love, then the confidence that good things are coming will skyrocket in the community and hopefully make it a better place. A lot of people are becoming more and more toxic in TF2 recently, and it's becoming a huge issue. Now, obviously, you have that in every community, blah, 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 whatever. The fact is, there's a lot of it in TF2 right now. And I do think a small part of it has to do with the fact that it has been over a year since the bots have started, and as well as that, Valve have not said a single thing about the bots in the past year. Other than, like, the little question Gabe answered, but I've still not seen anything come of that, so I don't know how real it was. Literally a dev tweet saying, "We understand your frustration and we're now working on a solution. We're hoping to roll it out soon," would help the community out massively. I think a lot of the anger that a lot of people are holding inside while playing TF2 will just get relieved if we know that there's somebody there actually trying to make things better for us. So I touched on it a little bit there, but the bot problem would also be fixed if there was a new dev team. Anyone who gets the job of continuing TF2 would hopefully have that on the top of their list of things they need to do, which means that an active dev team who hopefully talks to us would be working on fixing the problem that Valve has refused to fix for over a year. This is all we've been asking for the last year, and if a dev team end up taking over TF2 with the intention to keep going and making stuff for it, they'll obviously be working on this one first. Okay, so now let's move on to some of the cons that you guys seem to have, because some of them are understandable, but I want to talk about them just a little bit. First of all, if any development team end up having TF2 to work on, some people think they would only be there for a cash grab and not because they care about the game. People think they'll just take over TF2, they'll ship a bunch of cosmetic updates or design it more in a way where it's fully pay to win instead of actually just being able to play it without spending anything. But I think if this company is only working on the development of the game and Valve still end up owning TF2, they won't let these kind of ideas pass. Well, you'd hope they wouldn't, but it's Valve, you literally never know. And honestly, that's all Valve are really using it for right now. They're not updating it other than cosmetic updates, and they're kind of just leaving it for the rest of the year. So why would it be different if somebody else did it? Obviously, you don't want a whole bunch of cash grab updates, I get that, but a new development team would have a better chance of giving us updates with actual content in it than what Valve are currently using the game for. Another concern that I even had to start with, then I talked myself out of a little bit, was that they wouldn't actually get TF2. Like, they won't understand what the TF2 audience really wants, what they should be doing with the game, and they just won't get it, if that makes sense. A lot like Face It with their casual matchmaking. Their understanding of what casual was and what the community wanted was very different to what the community actually wanted and what their definition of casual is, which is fair enough. TF2 isn't Face It's main game. They haven't been here long enough to understand what the community wants and how it works. What they shipped is what they believed was the product they were trying to make, so they've succeeded there. It just exactly wasn't lined up with what the community wanted. I feel like the same is going to be if a new development team take over this game. Now, hopefully they will have a better understanding of the community before they even start, but they might still end up getting a few things wrong, and I think that's okay, because whoever ends up working on TF2 will want to try new things. They'll have their own ideas for the game that might not fully line up with what the community want, and they might need to give it a couple of goes before they think they fully get the community. In fact, even some videos I make, I think people are really going to enjoy, and they turn out to be some of my worst performing videos I've made. Nobody is perfect, and a new dev team might just need a little bit of time to actually start giving us what we want, and that's okay. As long as we give this potential new development team, if it ever happens, enough time, then hopefully we will end up getting some updates that we're really happy with. And the final point that I saw literally everywhere when this stream clip dropped, prompting this whole conversation, was that it shows that Valve doesn't really care about TF2 anymore. And in some part that's true. They don't really want to work on it anymore, which could mean they don't care, obviously. But if you look at it the other way, this actually might be the best thing Valve could do for TF2. They're not going to work on it themselves, so why not let somebody else work on it? Valve aren't interested in giving TF2 the time and attention it deserves, then letting somebody else give that time and attention is a lot better than just keeping the game for themselves and not letting anybody else touch it. Valve are working on other projects that they care about a lot more right now, which is allowed. They are their own company. They're not like indebted to us forever. And TF2 is a super old game, and Valve's goals right now are to be more at the forefront of modern gaming or whatever it is, and keeping TF2 going isn't exactly the way to do that. Giving the game to another team to work on is literally the nicest thing Valve could do for this community. It might seem that giving away the development to somebody else means they don't care, but I kind of see it the other way. They care enough to actually let somebody else do it rather than understand that they will never do anything else with it and just leave it to die. That's my take on that whole thing anyway. I saw a lot of that on Twitter, so I thought I definitely needed to talk about that one. But yeah, anyway, that's going to do it for the video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, I'd really appreciate it if you left it a like and also subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.